All right, so let's hop over to Aptana and go ahead and create a new project. I called mine PDO. Ignore these other ones. I have the master here for reference. But create your project, and then right click on the project and do new file. We'll just call this index.php. And there we go. Like recent videos, we're going to be using PHP shortcodes. So let's go ahead and give ourselves some PHP tags here. Now the first thing we want to handle is the actual connection to the database, which previously we were using the MySQLi connect. Now what we're going to do is create a new instance of the PDO class. And if you're not familiar with objects and object-oriented programming in general, I'll probably do some series on that later. You don't need to know a whole lot about object-oriented programming to utilize the PDO. You kind of just need to know how the PDO works. But I do definitely recommend you learn more about object-oriented programming. So let's start here by saving the variables that we need, like our host, the database name, the username, and the password. And we'll just do that by making some simple variables here. So host, and these values, of course, go with my database. You need to use your database's details instead of mine. So localhost is my host. The database name, I just called it PDO. The user, I also called PDO. And the password, I just called the password. It should be a little more secure than mine. All right, so we've got those set up. Now let's create the new PDO instance. Sticking with the way we've done things in the past, we're going to go ahead and call this DBC. Some people will do like DBH for database host, other things like that, but it really doesn't matter what you call it as long as you stay consistent and remember what you called it. So DBC equals new PDO. So right here we're creating a new instance of a PDO object. And this takes some parameters, much like our old MySQLi connect function. The first parameter is actually 2 and 1. Go ahead and make some double quotes here. We need the first parameter is going to be our MySQL host and database. And this is kind of like almost like a JSON key value pair deal here. So the database type is MySQL, and the host is equal to our host. Then another key value will be our DB name equals name. All right, so hopefully that made sense to you. This is technically only one parameter because it's in the one slot here, the first slot for parameters. This parameter just happens to send a couple of different items within it. So we're going to define the database that we're using as MySQL, the host name and the database name. So after that, we're going to send our next two parameters. And this will be the username, comma, password. And it's as simple as that. We need a couple extra things here, but this is how you create a new PDO object. And what we want to do, we're going to wrap this in a try-catch scenario here. And I don't know if I've really introduced those before. Short explanation is it's going to try this block of code. So try, and then take the ending curly bracket and come down here. So it's going to try this out, and then we need to add a catch. All right, so it's going to try this code out, and if there is an error, do something. What we're going to do is create a PDO exception instance. Just done like that. We're going to capture that instance in this variable e, and then simply echo e in the get message method. All right, so really quick explanation on how this object works and how objects work in general. You assign an object to a name, a variable name, and then you can access certain things in that, whether it be properties, like other variables within the object, or functions, which in this case we call them methods. So this get message is a function within the object. And again, in this instance called a method. So I'll be calling these methods for the remainder of the video. But if you get confused, just remember a method is a function. Really quick, I caught a typo here. It needs to be localhost. Save that and go over to our browser, open the page, and you should get a blank page, no error. And that means we're on the right track.